Alright, so welcome back to another ReactJS tutorial. So in this tutorial, again, this tutorial, some example that we use is followed by the official ReactJS documentation on this section, which you can find the links in description down below. Okay, so today what we'll talk about is called conditional rendering, and then what that basically means is what if we want to display like two different components? Let's just say that two different components to the user who logged in or not. For example, this is the example directly from React documentation, and in here I'm just going to say user greeting. This is given if a user is logged in for a logged in user, and we'll say React.component, and then let's just say render return hi. Let's see. Let's see. Hey, dear logged in user. So if we want to say something like this, let's just say remove dear. Hi, logged in user. Okay. And then, but what if we want to display something that is different? For example, for the user who didn't log in. Well, then we can create new classes. Class guest greeting, and then same thing extends. By the way, you guys have some good React project ideas, feel free to send me some project ideas because I'm trying to follow the React documentations, and then for each video I just like adds on a little bit to each documentation with my own interpretation to make it a little bit more easier to understand. But right now we're already more than like halfway done through the documentation, so probably going to work on one or two projects. So if you guys have some project ideas, feel free to comment down below and tell me your project ideas. Alright, back to what we're talking about. So we have the guest greeting. I want to say now, oops. In here, what I can say is, let's just say return h1 hello guest user. Okay, so we're going to render these two based on whether user is logged in or not. Okay. Alright, so we'll do this. So let's go ahead and create a function component. And then here we'll say is logged in. And this is going to take since this is a React component, this is going to take a single argument called props. And in here we'll go ahead and say const logged in with props dot logged in. And then here what we can say, so basically we're setting the props. So recall, if you remember, prop is something like this. So if we have this app, then we can say is logged in, and recall we need to stop closing this app using JSX. And then in here, additional HTML attribute that's provided will be sent as a props. For example, then we can in here we can say logged in equals false. That means it didn't log in, or otherwise this is true. So we're expecting a Boolean value here. And then in here we can say if logged in. So if it's true, then we can just say return user greeting. Otherwise, return. We don't really need an else since it's already returned, but to make it a little bit more easier to understand, we'll add an else. Otherwise, we'll say guest greeting. Oops. Okay. So now you can see we return the JSX elements, and then in here, what we can say is so we can put this line basically in here. It's logged in. Logged in equals true. So basically the user is logged in. Then we should see user greeting. So if you run the code, Let's see. Logged in. Oops. Let's see. Is logged in. Right. Logged in. Okay. Oh. Oh god, I didn't expect the error to come so fast. Sorry about that. Is logged in. Now we can say logged in. Warning. Okay, well, let's go ahead and change this to here is logged in. Does that actually matter? Okay, well, it actually matters. Okay, I know it's using different case. I didn't know it's actually checking it. Excuse me. So it's actually using the Pascal case. It's basically like every time we type a new word, you're going to capitalize it. So like user logged in. This is example components. I don't actually know that. I know it's typing differently, but I didn't know it's checking that strict. But now we learned a lesson, so make sure you're typing in Pascal case, not other case like camel case or snake case. Now you can see hello logged in user. I'm going to log in to false and then refresh. Now we can see hello guest user. Okay. So now let's take a look at a complicated example that can basically enable user to log in and log out through a button. So here we're going to create a function and say login button props, and in here just return immediately button and we say onClick. We call use camel case for JSX HTML attribute, and in here we want to say props.onClicks. So basically we're referring onClick for this button to the props So we could say something. So we're going to get something like this. So I can say login button, and then this is going to associate this, basically associate whatever is inside these curly braces to the onClick actually. Alright, so login button, and I can say login, and then we're also going to have a button that says log out. Log out. Alright, and then everything going to be the same basically. And then now what we'll do is we'll go ahead and modify is logged in to a little bit complicated example. And in here we'll say this. So let's say something like this. I'm going to create a new class instead. And then here we'll say class login control extends react.components. This is also example directly from React documentation. And then in here we're going to say constructor. Recall constructor is always a first method that's going to execute. And then first we need to go ahead and initialize with react.components constructor method. Then we'll go ahead and bind this. So this is like a React way to say we can use this keyword. And then we can say the handle login. Let's see, handle login equals click equals this dot handle login dot bind this. So basically we're going to go ahead and bind this so we can go ahead and use in the handle login method, then we can use this keyword. Okay, this is like a basic React way of doing stuff. So this is how React usually to know that. So in this handle login method, we will be able to use this keyword to access the state mostly. And then log out, and then we're also going to create a state, because there is always an object, and we can say it's logged in, and then I can say true. So we can say user by default is indeed logged in. And now we can go ahead and create these two methods. Okay, we can create these two methods. So we can say handle login, and then here we can say is this dot set state. So set state is basically a React way saying we want to change the state. And then in here, what we can say is let's provide an object. We need an object of new state. And then here we can say false. So basically, wait, it's true. So it's logged in equals true if the login get clicked. Otherwise we'll say handle log out, and then we're just going to say this is false. So the user is not logged in. And let's go ahead and say render, which is requires a required method that we need to provide. So React know where to actually get render. And here we can say const. Let's see. So is user logged in? So we can say const. So recall we had like 3 ways to use a variable keyword to define a variable: const, let, and var. So const basically means we cannot change it at all. Constant, and in here I'm gonna say is logged in equals to this dot state dot is logged in. It's a boolean value, and then we can go and create a let button. So button is just an empty variable for now, and then we'll go ahead and store like which button should we render. Should we render login button or logout button? And in here we can say if it's logged in, basically if it's true, then we can say button equals to logout button. Do we need any props? Okay, logout button. And then in here, recall that we need to actually provide an onClick attribute. And then the onClick attribute just going to be this .handle login. Okay, basically. So we're going to use this .handle login when the login button get clicked. Otherwise, you probably guessed it, button equals to, wait, actually no, this should be handle logout. If user is logged in, we want them to be able to log out. And then otherwise, if the user is not logged in, we want them to go ahead, log in, and this is the handle login. Okay, this is a button, and then finally we can return. Let's see, we could return. Let's return user. So we can return. Let's see. Yeah, we're going to go ahead and use this all as well. So let's see. This is let's see if I remember the shortcut. I don't know. No. Okay. Well, you know what? This is this. So we're gonna use this now for the shortcut for onComments. I remember the shortcut for comments. How to onComments. Okay. And basically, in here we can say return So we need to wrap them inside a div because we're going to return two things. We're going to return the is logged in, which we're going to see which greeting should we return. Is user logged in, so we can return user greeting, or should we return guest greeting? And we're also going to return button. And then we call JSX. We can now use JSX to return like two different elements. For example, we can now use JSX to return h1 hello, but then h2 hi. We can now, you can see we have this error message. You can see JSX expression must have one parent element. That means we have to wrap them usually instead of a div. And in this div, we're going to first say is logged in. And in here we'll have an onClick. I hope I didn't make any like variable collision or something. And then in here we can say is, so the property I give is logged in. And then here I can say login equals based is logged in. And then we can also return button. Return button. So like what kind of button it is. Is it supposed to be a logout button or login button? And then here we can just return login control. So login control, and I don't think we need to provide any additional props. All right, let's go ahead and take a look. A cross-origin error thrown React. Okay, I don't know what happened. Let's see. This error message is not helpful at all. But it says it's in login control component. Okay. Okay. Well, I don't know what's wrong with this. Okay. Oh my god. It's so hard to find, especially when I make some mistake. Like typing mistake or something like that. Okay, control. So basically I think it's something that I typed that's supposed to not be capitalized. Or supposed to be capitalized, but I didn't do it. Oh, wait, yeah. Okay, I will try to figure out this error. I actually tried to tweak the codes. I didn't exactly use a variable name that they gave me. Like it is unknown error. Unknown error is not helpful at all. I want to find where is the error itself. Okay, we got too high. Oh, wait. God, I forgot to put props here. Let's see. Okay, finally, so forgot to put props here. Probably many of you is yelling at the comment now. It's like, dude, just click on, just add props. Well, I don't know in that case. And let's try log out. log in, log out, log in, log out. Okay, now everything works. So you can see it's changing. Once we logged in, it's a log out. Hello guest user, then can log in. Alright, so you can imagine this is going to be really useful when we create like any authentication or it's front-end React. So as we a little bit get into React, we can find it's really powerful, especially for modifying any front-end content. So I think that will be it for this tutorial. I didn't expect to take it that long because I make some errors, like especially like on click, I didn't capitalize the C or capitalize L as well, something like that, and I forgot to take props. Well, lots of error. I'm still kind of rusty on React because I learned this specifically to make these tutorials, but I hope you enjoyed this nonetheless. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you do, please consider subscribe to this channel. It's really helpful. Or just smash that like button as well. Although I don't know does more like does do anything or not. I actually tried to create like a YouTube algorithm thing, but I cannot find any data set for do that. But anyway, thanks for watching. Again, if you haven't joined my 30 sub special raffle, please go ahead and join that. And then we'll see how I'm probably going to do a live stream about doing all these projects. But that's about it. So thanks for watching and see you next time.